as I said, we're in Pei Hey Amud Aleph. About 12 lines from the bottom. The first word is Bei Kabetza. Where we're starting from is Tashma. Tashma. Motzi Basar Pesach Michabura Lechabura. Now, we tried to find out, last daf, we tried to find out if when we take out the Korban Pesach, right? If ever a piece of lamb comes out of the Korban Pesach that comes out of Yerushalayim, of the Tchumim of Yerushalayim, that's it, you have to cut it off. Why? Because that becomes pasul. Now we asked the Shaila if it's going to be metameh the yadayim, if it's going to make your hands tummy for the Kohanim or whoever it was.
When you cut it.
Huh?
When you cut it.
Or the whole thing. Maybe Chachamim made a gzera. Why? Because we said for the pigul and the notar, right? Pigul, if the Kohen had a bad thought, or notar, or there was extra, Chachamim made a gzera that is going to be metam midarabanan, your hands, the person's hands, the Kohanim's hands. Why? Because two separate reasons. I'm not going to get into it. Okay, but so we wanted to see if the same din applies to the Korban Pesach that got out of the Tchum. If we're going to have the same din, if it's going to be metameh dayadayim. Okay. So Tashma, come in here. The Gemara says, okay, Amutzi basar Pesach michabura lechabura. If you take a Korban Pesach from one chabura to another one, okay, with the chabura we said they go in a group, right? They did the Korban Pesach, they did it together. So you took out the Korban Pesach from one group to the other, Af al pi shu belo ta'aseh, right? There's an isur lo ta'aseh to do this. Ta'or. Gemara says it's still ta'or. My love, ta'or v'asur. Don't we mean that when we're saying that it's ta'or, but it's ta'or but it's still asur, נכון? דיוצא מחבורה לחבורה, כי הוא יוצא לחוץ למחיצתו דמי ומפסיד, נכון? אולי נגיד, maybe we're going to say that it's the same thing as taking the Korban Pesach outside of the Tchum, נכון? And it's pasul, and it's going to be metameh dayadayim. Maybe it's the same din here. Or maybe we can learn out from here to there as well. But you see, Chachamim still said that it's ta'or. נכון? Ama lo gazur rabbanan tuma. We see that Chachamim didn't. We're not gozer, we're not gozer tuma, right? Bayadayim for this. So maybe that's an answer to our question, right? Because originally we asked, if you take the Korban Pesach out of the Tchum, where Chachamim gozer in this case as well, that it's going to be metameh dayadayim. נכון? The Gemara says, lo, ta'or ve'mutar. Over there, it's for sure ta'or ve'mutar all the way. Why? דיוצא מחבורה לחבורה, לאו כיוצא מחוץ למחיצתו דמי. I'm sorry, but you can't bring me a raya from this case to that case, right? When you take from chabura to another chabura, נכון? We're saying it's ta'or ve'mutar. It's still mutar, נכון? But if you were to take it out from the tchum of Yerushalayim, right? Maybe maybe the whole thing is pasul. Maybe Chachamim will actually goes around that. Sorry, velo mafsid. But then the Gemara asks a question. Veha katani seifa aochlo are ze belo taseh. We said at the end of the seifa of the statement that we said, right? A person who goes and eats it, right? He's over ana lo taseh. So mashma, maybe it is metameh dayadayim, right? So the Gemara says, Bishlama lemada amar kabetza, right? We had, sorry, let me just backtrack a little bit. Yesterday we had a machloket, so maybe I need to bring it in here as well. We had a machloket in regards to, as we said earlier, we have the pigul and the notar. Chachamim were gozer on those two cases. On the pigul, we're choshed, we're suspecting that the Kohanim, maybe if he hates another guy, right? And now he purposely has a bad thought on this korban, So Chachamim made a gzera, right, that it's going to be metamed yadayim. So therefore, they're going to think twice before actually having a bad thought for the other guy's coin. Another opinion that we had was for what was the lashon again? It was atzle keuna. Maybe the kohanim are going to be lazy, right? And therefore they're going to leave extra, right? So that's in regards to the notar. So over there, they also said that it's metamed yadayim, and we said the statement man de matni apigul. Sorry. Right, one opinion held that the shiur is kazait. One opinion held the shiur is kabetza. Right? Man de matni kazait teisuro. The one who learned that the shiur is kazait is just like the isur, nachon? And man de matni kabetza kitumato. And the one who learned it that you need to have a shiur of a kabetza for it to be over, nachon, is kitumato. So now we have those two opinions. We have one opinion that says that the shiur is kazait. One opinion that says the shiur is kabetza. Nachon? So now, we just explained, nachon, that we said veha katani seifa ochlo areze lo tased. A person who eats, nachon, the korban pesach that went from a chabura to another chabura, we're saying that he's over ane lo taseh. Now, bishlama leman de'amar kabetza, we can understand why it's still ta'or according to the man de'amar who said kabetza. Why? Because the itbei kazait, maybe the shiur that I had on there was a kazait, and therefore you still could use it for the korban pesach, but it's not tameh, right? But it's not tameh, according to that opinion, נכון? ולדבי קבצה, and you don't have a kabetza. Now, אלא למאן דאמר כזית, according to the opinion of the כזית, נכון?
יש לך קבצה, לכן זה בסדר.
מה זה? לא, אם יש לך קבצה זה טמא.
זה יותר מכזית.
נכון, זה טמא.
אוכל יותר מכזית.
לא, אבל באיפה, in which there is a מחלוקת on the two opinions, נכון? What is the shiur, נכון, of the korban pesach that you need to have? No. That you need to have on the korban pesach, נכון?
Okay.
That in that case, that's where chachamim say that it's metamed yadayim. Okay. Now, one opinion said it's the shiur must be a kabetza. It's one opinion. נכון? One opinion said the shiur is kazai. There you go. In that case, in a case of kabetza, that's where Chachamim said that it's metamed yadayim. Or in a case of kazait, that's where Chachamim said that it's metamed yadayim. Now, okay, you must have that shiur for it to be metamed yadayim. Now, in this case, okay, we're saying, nachon, we said that you're over balot aseh and it's still ta'or. Nachon? So how could you still be over alot aseh? Nachon? And the korban could still be ta'or. So according to the opinion, right, that you have a shiur of a kabetza, nachon? That you must have a shiur of kabetza for it to be metamed yadayim, nachon? What is the case that we would say that you're still over alot aseh, but it's ta'or? So the case is, right, you had, so according to the opinion who says that the shiur that you must have for it to be metamed yadayim, it needs to be a kabetza. According to that opinion, I could understand here why it could still be ta'or, but you're still over on a lav. Why? Because you don't have a kabetza, you have a kazait. נכון? בשלמה, הבנת את הקטע הזה? הבנתם?
Not really, honestly.
No? Shonya?
Oh.
I'm trying to do catch up on what I missed before, because if I don't have the context before, it's hard for me to jump in.
Oh, so what?
I'm
Where were you guys? Tell me where you're holding. So I can.
I'm already like towards the end of the previous stuff. I want to catch up.
Toby,
Yeah.
you try to jump in.
Yeah, I
You
think
can.
so.
Yeah, because then you have. Because I'm explaining it. I'm
Okay.
explaining what you're missing.
Okay.
Okay. So, just a quick recap. Okay. There was a machloket on yesterday's done. Okay.
Yeah.
If we said that Chachamim were gozer on two cases, okay? If a person, if the Kohanim did these situations, right? Chachamim were gozer that is going to be metameh me'edayim. That's enough to know, okay? Now, there's a machloket on the shiur when Chachamim are going to say that it's metameh me'edayim. So one opinion we said kabitza, right? Ketumato, and one opinion says kazayit, okay? Now. We're asking in our case, okay? We're asking in our case. What's our case? If a person takes the Korban Pesach from one chabura to another one, okay? We said it's over belot aseh, but it's tau, okay? So now we're trying to understand how can, and at the end of the Mishnah we also said that you're still over belot aseh. So we're trying to understand. How could you be? What is the case? Okay, that it'll be taor, but you're still over alot aseh, because you brought it from chabura to another chabura. Okay, well, how can that statement fit? According to which opinion? Can it fit according to the opinion who says kabetza, right? You must have that type of shiur for it to be right, or can it be according to the shiur of the man damar who says kazai? Okay, so now the Gemara is saying bishlama. With me? Now look inside. But you have a question.
Just going from chabura to chabura, what does that mean? That
there's two for the Korban Pesach.
You have to eat in
chabura.
groups. Right.
Yeah. So if you went from one chabura to the other one, you're over a lot aseh.
You started with one
You have to be with your chabura all the way.
So you started with one korban, and
you
took some of it and went to.
No, I didn't take even. He said, you know what? I like the ribs over there. Over here, we finished with the rib. I want to take.
No. He took amutzi basar pesach michabura lechabura. Basar. Yeah. He took out the basar pesach. He took up meat from this basar.
Now you're asking how much.
Another one.
How much is the shiur of that piece of meat that he took? Does it need for tuma?
Exact.
Okay, that's what I want to make.
Now there's a machloket on kabetza or kazay, and we said the statement. You have the statement, right? We said it's over belot aseh, and it's still considered tov. And then
it's
we
allowed,
said, but you're still over and alav.
Right.
Sure.
Okay.
So now, bishlama. Okay, קפוץ איתנו, bishlama. Okay, you have the bishlama?
Yeah.
Okay. Bishlama leman damar kabetza. We can understand according to the man damar who says that it's the shiur is kabetza. Why? We could say the id be kazait. You still have a kazait in that case, נכון? Therefore, you're still mechuyav on the lo taseh, but it's not metamed הידיים. נכון? אריה לב. מחילה, just... ולית בי קבצה, but you don't have the shiur of קבצה, so therefore it's taor, and you're still over on alav, right? It's taor mitzad toma, but you're still over on alav because you still have a shiur of a kazait, so therefore it's still considered as a korban pesach. If it doesn't have the shiur, it's not considered korban pesach. Now, ela leman da'amar kazait, according to the opinion who says that the shiur is a kazait, ma'ika lemeimar. What are you going to say? That there wasn't a kazait in that case? If there's no kazait, there's no lav, there's nothing. It's not even a korban pesach. You understand? So therefore it's not metame, and you don't have the shiur to be over on a lav. Good?
You're not even yotze at all.
You're not even yotzer, so I don't care if you it's not even that.
The minimum
we're saying,
is kapetza, right?
We said a statement. Amotzi basar pesach michabura lechabura. There's no basar. If there's no kazait, if it's less than the shiur of a kazait, it's not even considered basar. So there's no lav to be over. Okay? Now, so the Gemara said.
But he's not saying anything about less than kazait. I mean, you said machloket has been kazait and kabitza. Mm-hmm. So where do we bring less than kazait from? We never even spoke about that. It's either kazait or kabitza. So
know,
what
but
is the din on if he takes not less than kazait? An actual kazait, what's the din? Not less, an actual kazait.
So according to the opinion that says that the shiur is a kabitza,
Right.
נכון? In that case, we can understand how it's ta'or, but you're still over on a lav. Why is it ta'or? נכון? If it's a shiur of a kabetza, then it becomes tameh. But if it's less than that, then it's ta'or, right? But I still need a shiur on the meat to give you a chiyuv on a lav that you're over, from going from one chabura to another one. So we're saying that it's less than a kabetza,
For ta'or.
but it's a shiur of a kazait, right? And therefore you're still over on the lav. I can still mechayev you on the lav, right? Because you have a kazait, right?
But it would still
Now-
be ta'or.
Yes, and it would still be tau. Now, according to the opinion who says that it's a kazait, right, to be metam. So how can you explain this brisa that we just brought? Why? Because if you want to say that it's kazait, okay, maybe you want to say that kazait is what can be metame, but if you have a shiur that's less than a kazait, you have no tuma, right? It's not metame. It could fit in the ta'or, but you can't fit it with the lav, because if it's less of a shiur of a kazait, then I can't give you mechayev you a lav. There's no chiyuv of lav here. You're not over on anything. Why? Because a korban pesach that has less of a shiur of a kazait, it's considered klum, right? There's no shvirat etzim even.
So where I don't understand, and it's okay if you don't understand, is why we even go into this whole less than kazait.
What?
Why do you even mention less than kazait? Who cares about less than kazait?
Okay. Because we said the halacha of a person taking from a chabura to another one.
Right.
We said, נכון? You're over on a lav,
Yeah.
נכון?
Yeah.
And it's ta'or.
Right.
How can I fit that statement that you're over on a lav and it's ta'or? If you say the shiur is a kazait, נכון? נכון? Then you can't understand the statement. Why? Because you must say that it's less than that for it to be considered ta'or.
You have to say that it's less.
You have
אבל
to
אתה
say-
לא עובר עליו, כי זה פחות
But
כזית.
how can I say the statement that you're over
understand.
on a lav?
Right.
Okay, there you go. I can't say it.
I understand. So
But
you
that's
have
the
to
point.
say that it's less than. You have to say that
Bid,
it's less than.
bid,
Okay. That's
bid.
why I didn't understand why everybody's saying less than. Okay.
Okay.
You
Now,
don't have. So it's not good for us if it's less kazite.
right? Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what he's
yeah.
just said. Yeah.
It's not good. Therefore, I can't fit the statement that we said. Ela. So rather, we're switching it up. ביוצא בפסח לא מביילן. דלא גזרו רבנן טומאה. A person, we try to bring this statement, right, to understand if a person takes out a piece, one limb of a Pesach, נכון? Of the Korban Pesach goes outside of Yerushalayim. If one limb, right, then it's going to be tameh. Will it become tameh midarabanan? Right? We tried to bring this case as a raya, but we tried to bring multiple before and it didn't work. So now we're coming to a situation that we see it must be fitting to be able to say that the Korban Pesach, when the limb comes out of Yerushalayim, for it to be metamem diyadayim, maybe Chachamim were gozer that, you must fit it within the two mandamars of either if it's a kabitza or a kazait. So mashma we see, because it doesn't fit with both, right? Because it doesn't fit with the mandamar of the kazait. We see that the Chachamim are not gozer on that case. Okay? That is going to be metam midayadayim. Okay? My timer. What's the reason that Chachamim were not gozer? Bnei Chabura zrizim hen. The Bnei Chabura, the people of the Chabura, there is zrizim, נכון? V'mezar zeiri. You have a group of people. Everybody is going to be aware of one another. Hey, be careful. Don't go out, right? So don't go out of the tchum. People know. People are aware because the Korban Pesach, you have a whole group. So if one guy doesn't pay attention, you have many other people to give him the warning. Okay? So therefore, Chachamim, for sure, in that case of the Korban Pesach, if a piece of it, if one of the limbs came out, it's not going to be metame de'adam mid'Rabbanan. That's it. Ela, so really, what is this question that we're trying to figure out? Ki kamibailan beyotze bekochim, regular kochim, where you don't have chaburot, right? Is it going to be metam midarabanan? Is it going to be metam midarabanan? Right? So the Gemara says teiku. No answer. Good. Bezrat Hashem, when Eliyahu Navi comes, we'll have an answer. Okay, very good. Now, V'motzi basar, we're continuing, the last 3 lines. V'motzi basar Pesach michabura lechabura minayin. How do we know that there's even an isur of taking basar Pesach from one chabura to another if you have an isur that right? The Tanya, if you're over an alarm. Lo totzi, we have a pasuk that says לא תוציא, right, לא תוציא מן הבית הבשר חוצה, ועצם לא תשבור בו, right? We have that pasuk. לא תוציא מן הבית מן הבשר חוצה. So now, אין לי אלא מבית לבית. I can understand that I cannot take it from one house to another house, right? If there's 2 chaburot and 2 separate houses, right? We said מן הבית. מחבורה לחבורה מניין. From one chabura to the other one, how do I know? What if you have 2 chaburot in one house, for example, right? Talmud lomar chutza, outside. Chutz le'achilato, anywhere outside of where you're going to eat it. So if you have one chabura in the master bedroom and you have one chabura in the kitchen, right? You can't take the basar from here to there. That's how important it is.
Really?
So yeah, we see a state pasuk that explains it.
בודק כמה אנשים אם לא אתה מוסיף עוד קורבן, נכון?
מה?
שכאילו שצריכים להיות, יש את הקורבן שמוסיפים. כאילו הקורבן הזה?
חגיגה.
פסח שני?
לא,
חגיגה, כן, כן.
זה אתה סופר, כאילו, זה כאילו חבורה.
נכון. אתה צריך לעשות את כל זה. למה שכולם יהיו שבעים?
כן, אז זה מה שאני אומר.
But it's saying, like, let's say if you're
אבל גם
preparing,
ככה אוכלים את זה בסוף שכולם שבעים.
what if you're preparing it in your kitchen, whatever, I don't know if they had a kitchen back there, but you know, like, whatever. And
One
then you
person in
bring,
the kitchen, one person in the bedroom.
I'm saying, and you bring it outside.
No.
Zabaya?
Into another chabura.
Oh, you're saying if there's
No,
another...
they sur. We're asking where do we know they sur?
I
We're
got
bringing
you.
from one
No,
group
no,
to
no.
another one.
No, I made a mistake for some reason. I thought it was just rules.
מבית לבית, מחוץ לבית אתה כבר לא יכול להוציא.
נכון.
עכשיו הבא.
בדיוק.
But if a different chabura is there,
עכשיו שפעם הם היו חיים עם הילדים כולם ביחד.
כן.
באותו בית.
כן.
עם ה- כאילו,
let's
זה
say
הבתים
you're eating
לא
outside,
כמו שם.
בוא נגיד יש מזה קפה.
אוקיי, בוא נמשיך, אין הרבה זמן.
But you have to cook it like
כן,
instant.
no problem.
אוקיי.
להוציא את זה מאיפה שאתה...
כי התחום שלך, כאילו.
זה החבורה, ועכשיו לצאת לך.
חבורה
I got you.
אחרת.
That's-
חבורה
that's-
אחרת.
yeah, yeah. I got you.
Okay, weiter. Amar Rabbi Yami. Okay, we're continuing. Shona, here you could you copy better even. אמר רבי ימי, המוציא בשר פסח מחבורה לחבורה, אינו חייב עד שיניח. He says that you're not חייב until you drop the korban pesach. So let's say you go from one chabura to another one, but it's still in your hands. You're not חייב. You can go all the way back. Why? הוצאה כתיב בי כשבת. The הוצאה that's written here is just like Shabbat. מה שבת? עד דעבד עקירה והנחה. Just like in Shabbat, where are you chayav? In what type of case are you going to be chayav for being mutzi mereshut lereshut? If you had otzah ve'anacha, you have to take it out and drop it. נכון?
So technically keys is not a problem. Carrying keys in your pocket.
I'm not going to get into okay? אף החנמי, just like here, עד דעבד עקירה, רגע, בואו נסיים את זה. עד דעבד עקירה והנחה, until you are over a עקירה, אין ההנחה. So רבי ימי says that no, you must also drop it. If you don't drop it or let go of it, you're not חייב. So מיטיב רבי אבא בר ממל, רבי אבא בר ממל argues on this. היו סובלים אותם במוטות הראשונים, במוטות. They used to take, what was it? פרים הנשרפים. They used to have to burn the parim, נכון? כגון פר ושעיר, יום הכיפורים, they used to have to take it outside of the machanot. To have to go and burn it over there, נכון? And they used to take it on the big poles on top of them, right? הראשונים יצאו חוץ לחומת העזרה. The first group, right? They would go outside of the walls of the azara. Okay? איך אומרים עזרה עוד הפעם?
I know.
The azara, you know what's azara? נכון?
The room.
The area that you can live of the in the בית המקדש. והאחרונים לא יצאו. So the first people they would go out, and the last ones wouldn't go out. הראשונים מטמאים בבגדים. The first group, right, that left Azara, they were metamim, their clothes became tamim. והאחרונים אין מטמאים בבגדים. The last ones, they're not metamim בבגדים. And we were saying, Vehalonach. Oh, over there you're saying it's tameh just because you left, but you didn't drop it.
הנה, אתה רואה שפה לא נע.
So maybe, so how are you telling me that you must have a akira and hanacha by korban pesach as well? So the Gemara says, no, hu motiv la, v'hu mefarek la. He asked a question, and he also answered his own question. Why? Be nigrarin. What did they used to do with the big poles? They used to pull it the whole time. So therefore there was no akira. It was just on the ground the whole time. There's no akira and hanacha. There's no picking up and dropping. The whole time it was pulled. That's why in that case, they're
לא
what's it called?
חייבים, אבל רק מטמאים את הבגדים.
Right, מטעם את הבגדים. Okay. Now, Mishnah. Ever שיצא מקצתו, here, this is what we were explaining, right? If you have a limb that comes out of ירושלים. ever שיצא מקצתו, חותך עד שמגיע לעצם. You cut until you get to the bone. וקולף עד שמגיע לפרק וחותך. And you pull the meat off until you get to the area, right? Let's say the limb is just, let's say the limb is here, right? Here. Let's say this is the limb, נכון? And it left Mitzrayim up to here, נכון? So what do? נכון? We said you cut up to here, and then you pull the meat off. You pull the meat off up until the place where it got out. Okay? וחותך. ובקודשים קוצץ בקופיץ שאין בו משום שבירת עצם. The reason why we explained the other day that we have to pull over the meat because we have to separate between the two. So you don't have, because in Korban Pesach you have an issur to break the bone. You can't break the bone, right? So in that case you have to separate it. So therefore you're not actually breaking the bone. You're breaking it off before consider breaking the bone of the Korban Pesach, because the rest of it is already pasul. Now, right, until the elbow, let's say. But in a case of regular kachim, over there you don't have a issur of shvirat etzem, so therefore you take a big chopper and you cut it all the way off. I don't care about shvirat etzem. Okay. Now, mina agaf velifnim kelifnim. Now we have a picture here. Quick picture. It's very easy. Mina agaf. You see right here. In this case, in this case, mina agaf, the agaf is the area. Is a machloket if it's the wall, that's the whole wall that's separating, right, between the inside to the outside. If it's the whole width of this thickness, let's say this is the agaf, right? Let's say the frame. Now let's say, right? So it's either this whole thing. Right? If you're inside of it, it's still considered that you're inside of the Beit HaMikdash, and therefore it's not going to be tameh, right, or pasul anymore. Or it's right in the middle of it, right here, right in the middle. You have a door in the middle, so it's either you had a door at the edge, right? So at the edge right here, or and then this whole part is considered bifnim, or there's two opinions, or you're right here. There's a big machloket in poskim where it was exactly. Okay.
1 inch can be the problem.
Right. So what was the situation? Here you can see it here. You want to see? See the two. Look at the two pictures in the bottom.
It's like the doorway to the Azara, you're saying.
Yeah.
לא יודע, פשוט פה.
יותר פשוט שמה?
השאלה אם אגף, צירים, זהו.
בדיוק. אוקיי?
אגף זה כאילו איפה המזוזה.
בדיוק, זה המשקוף של הזה, אוקיי? So now, we're saying, mina agaf velifnim kelifnim. We're saying from the agaf, right? The agaf itself, okay? It's considered kelifnim. Mina agaf. זה טוב. מן האגף ולחוץ, כלחוץ, anywhere from the אגף to the outside, it's already outside. ומן האגף לבפנים, it's בפנים. החלונות ועובי החומה כלפנים. The windows and the thickness of the wall, it's considered כלפנים inside. Now, אמר רב יהודה אמר רב, וכן לתפילה. Same din happens to tefillah, right? If let's say you have 10 people, you have exactly 10 people, and one guy, or the 10th guy is standing on the edge of the doorway, right? If he's standing towards the inside, he's considered that he's a part of the minyan. If he's standing towards the outside of it, right, then he's not considered a part of the minyan. That's why it's same din for tefillah. ופליגה דרבי יהושע בן לוי, דאמר רבי יהושע בן לוי, אפילו מחיצה של ברזל אינה מפסקת בין ישראל לאביהם שבשמיים. גם, even if there was a מחיצה of a ברזל over there, it's not מפסק, and you still consider it a part of the minyan. That's one opinion. There's a מחלוקת. Okay? So now, the Gemara says, הגוף הקשיא. אמרת לן, אמרת מן הגוף לבפנים כלבפנים. You just told us in the Mishnah, if it's מן הגף ולפנים כלפנים, right? It's considered inside. האגף עצמו, כלחוץ. Maybe I'm going to make a דיוק. The gaf itself, the thickness of it itself, maybe it's considered כלחוץ, right? Because we said כלפנים, right? מן הגף ולפנים כלפנים. From the agaf more in, it's considered inside. Mashma, the agaf itself, it's considered outside, and therefore it will be pasul. Eima seifa, min agaf velachutz kelachutz. Okay, but you said also, from the agaf to the outside, it's considered outside. So I can make a diuk. So maybe the agaf itself is considered kelifnim, right? Ha agaf atzmo kelifnim. The Gemara says lo kashya. כאן בשערי עזרא, כאן בשערי ירושלים. Okay, there's a מחלוקת in that, in שערי עזרא,
יש לי פה ציור, אתה רוצה?
טוב, אבל למה מסביר שערי עזרא?
כן, שערי ירושלים, אגף עצמו כלחוץ. In שערי ירושלים, the agaf itself, right, the agaf, the separator, it's considered כלחוץ. שלא נתקדש עוביין. We didn't make the thickness of it kadosh, okay? But the one of the zara, שערי zara, over there that became kadosh. That's why it's considered inside, okay? That's why we had one opinion that says kelifnim, right? When is the agaf considered inside or when is it considered outside? דאמר רבי ישמעאל,
זה הכותל בעצם?
מה?
מתחיל להיות בית דין?
לא, היה להם, כן, יותר בחוץ. דאמר רבי ישמעאל בר יצחק, מפני מה לא נתקדשו שערי ירושלים? למה לא, why didn't they make the שערי ירושלים קדוש? מפני שמצורין מגינין תחתיהן בחמה מפני החמה. הם לא עשו את זה קדוש, למה? כי המצורע הוא לא יכול להיכנס, נכון? מצורע זה מישהו שדיבר, it's a person who spoke לשון הרע, and he's tummy, whatever.
צרעת.
Yeah, he got צרעת. The reason why they didn't make the gates of Yerushalayim kadosh over there, why? So that the מצורע can go there, because he used to hide there. He used to hide there and be protected over there. So therefore they didn't make, כן, I'm not going to get into the sugya, but that's why. They used to go in there, and if they went in there and it was kadosh, they would go over Isu. So therefore Chachamim said, it's not kadosh. Good. ובגשמים מפני, because it was hot, so they would use it for shade. ובגשמים מפני הגשמים, and when it would rain, that's where they would hide. ואמר רבי שמואל בר יצחק, מפני מה לא נתקדשו שער נקנור, another שער, I'm not going to get into it, מפני שמורצרים ועומדים שם ומכניסים בעונות ידם. המצורע needed to go and have blood on his thumb and whatever, the whole process of how to become kadosh. נכון?
הכהן נותן
Had to be,
דם השחור,
that Kohen used to have to put blood on him, right?
קורבן השחור.
So that's the reason why they didn't make that little area kadosh. Why? So the Metzorah could go and put his finger in, because if he put his finger in, it's considered kadosh. It was over an isur. So therefore, they said that he cannot. He's not gonna. It's not gonna be kadosh. Therefore, he could put his finger in and become taor.
וכהן זה בגדול לא רוצה.
That's all, Paul.